Outside of teaching, where have you made most of your money? Because I know you've done investments and different things.
Most of my wealth today is investment returns. I've made.
What do you invest in? Because that's a really interesting topic at the moment, especially with what's happening with the, looking like we're potentially going into a depression, and with the epidemic and everything's changing. What have you invested in, and is that changing right now?
Well, I define an investment as some product, service, or idea that serves ever greater numbers of people. That is not a zero-sum game, but a non-zero-sum game, sustainable fair exchange. That as population grows, it grows. So for instance, toilet paper is something everybody's going to use for as long as we're around. Toothpaste is going to be something we're going to use. Deodorant. So anything that is a service or a product that people will use and the population will grow, and their brand names and their things that are staples. I buy companies that own those companies that serve ever greater numbers of people. I'm not much into speculation. I buy quite diverse across the sectors with indices. I keep my cost down, my turnover down, my cost down to very low. I reinvest dividends, and I just keep my cost down and my returns high. And I'm patient, and I've been doing that for 38 years basically. And I've been very blessed by returns. The coronavirus, I've made more money during the coronavirus than ever in history. So I knew that the market was above the mean. I was waiting for it to go below the mean. I put in a lot of cash reserves in below the mean, and it's come back up. And so I can't complain. I make sure that no matter what goes on in the market, I win. I've structured my portfolio and structured my investment strategies to be where if it goes up, I win. If it goes down, I win. It doesn't matter where it goes. You can win. And I'm not trying to make a fortune overnight, but I've made a fortune over time. And I'm a firm believer in investing in quality companies that serve vast numbers of people consistently, and not something that's the quickest get-rich system. There's many of those I pass by. I'm just a patient, methodical tortoise compared to the hare. Yeah. And I keep buying quality companies that keep serving people, that are staples for people. And if you help other people get what they want to get in life, it helps you get what you want to get in life. And that's what a real investment is. A speculation is speculating with a crystal ball about what you think is going to happen. And sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. And you're speculating on data that's not really solid. But when you have a long track record of at least 25 years, as Charles Ellis says, of what a mean would be, and you're satisfied with the mean, and then you expect less than the mean, so you're grateful for whatever you get. You patiently build up compound interest, which is one of the greatest things you can ever get, in your favor. And after a while, that starts multiplying and exceeding your active income. So I'm at the stage where I'm blessed to not have to work. I work. The purpose of financial independence is to be able to make enough income where you're not having to work. You work because you love to work. So you're doing something you love and getting paid for it, and then building momentum of economics on top of that. So and I didn't start out that way. I started out saving, $1 an hour, $10 a day, $50 a week, $200 a month. And then I just kept increasing that every 3 months. And I increased it 10% every 3 months, and I never stopped until it was $250,000 a month. And it was going into savings and investments. And I just kept buying companies. And I bought real estate over the time, but I'm really more into companies. I understand companies better than me dealing with real estate. And real estate has too many variables. It ties up too much capital. It's too much cash in, and too many costs that are unpredictable, et cetera. So I prefer to buy companies myself. I have had properties, many properties over the years, but I've closed those down. Just sort of like Elon Musk did this. He realized the sinkholes of lifestyle, and I keep a simple lifestyle. I'm a very minimalist. I keep a simple lifestyle and a lot of investment money.
It's interesting because I've spoken to a lot of investors that have got a lot of money, And I don't think there's one right answer, because everybody's got a different perspective, depending on what you know, and depending on, if you invest in stuff that you don't know anything about. You know, I'm a property guy. I understand property really, really well in the UK, and I make good money in property in the UK. But then other people that don't know anything about property, but know a lot about companies, or know a lot about maybe silver and gold, or even cryptocurrencies. I don't understand cryptocurrencies at all. For me to invest in cryptocurrencies would just be a complete gamble, a complete stab in the dark. But for me to invest in property, I know it's very safe because I risk assess it. I do my due diligence properly. I know what I'm doing.
In the London School of Economics, there's a Credit Suisse summary rating that comes out of there every year. It's the greatest source of information on investment probably in the world. It has a 120-year track record of documenting every market in the world and summarizing it. And I've watched that for many years, and I'm certain from looking at the stats why I put my money where I do. I've been doing quite a bit of studies on it. Now, like you say, there's some people that really love the real estate market, and I know some very wealthy people in the real estate market. They bought in quality properties, they've invested it, they've built land, they developed it, they've put rental and commercial properties together, and they've stacked it on top of each other, and they've rebuilt cities and done extraordinary things. Some of the biggest wealth has come from that. But it also takes a bit of a focus, and I have to factor in the time, thought, focus, and the cost of that, liabilities of that, and all that compared to what I do. So that's why I do it. It's not that mine's right. That's what works for me based on what my needs are as a speaker. But I certainly know people, and I've spoken on many property investment programs where they've made fortunes, and I encourage people to do it. But I travel full time. I don't live anywhere. And so I like to make sure that I have access to the liquidity that I do. But no, I've seen it. Where I live on a ship, as you know.
I was going to ask how the ship was. Yeah, that's a very interesting place to live.
Yeah, I am not there right now because it's not available right now.
Yeah.
But they've kind of docked it temporarily until this thing passes. But there's some very wealthy people there, and there's some very smart people there, and many of them have been property developers and built a fortune through property. But like I said, I have my preferences because I understand businesses more so than the property. So I stick to what I know. It's wise to stick to what you know. The cryptocurrencies, I didn't feel when I investigated that they had the way they were set up on the blockchain and the mining, I didn't think that was a wise investment. Not a bad for brokers to buy and sell, but as far as holding that and doing that, I didn't think that had a long-term future, as well as buying quality companies that serve people. So I'd rather be involved in serving people.